All right, guys. So the drama with Black Lives Matter continues because, a lot of people are seeing the obvious now, right? A lot of people are seeing things that people on the right, people like myself, have been saying for a long time about this movement, right? In this organization, specifically Black Lives Matter Global Network, that there is some funny business going on because, one, there's no accountability. Nobody knows where the money is going. And with all the money that went into that network, that organization last year, none of that money is actually being seen in the communities, right? That they're supposed to be helping. Now, here's the thing. I'm not one of those people that think that they're supposed to magically change things overnight. Okay, I don't think that you're going to immediately see results. I understand that things take time. But the only thing that people want is some transparency in regards to what is the money being used for. Because again, those people that are struggling and the people that you say you're trying to help, the people that you're raising money off of, dead black men mostly, are the ones that should be benefiting from this. However, they are not, okay? Their families are not benefiting. Now, Miss Patrisse Cullors came out a couple weeks ago when she stepped down as the leader of the organization. She left the organization, and she came out with a video explaining why she left, in which she really did not say anything about the reason why she left. Okay, she essentially said that, hey, I built up an organization, and my goal of taking down white supremacy, this is what we're doing, and I felt like I've done a good job with that with this organization, and I'm just gonna become a YouTuber and live in my gated $1.4 million home. Right? That's essentially what she said, right? That's essentially what she said. And as you can see, according to the likes and dislikes on this video, a lot of people did not like the answer that came from her. Okay, and like I said, it continues to get worse and worse and worse. And regardless of whether or not she stepped down, people are still asking for answers. As Michael Brown's father joins BLM chapters demanding to know what the foundation did with the $90 million. Now, Michael Brown's father has spoke out before, and I've already done a video on that, but there's been some more recent demands from these chapters in the recent days, even after Patrisse Cullors stepped down. So let's see what's going on here. A group comprised of the original 10 chapters of Black Lives Matter and some new chapters have called for the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation to provide financial transparency and internal accountability. The splinter BLM group is gaining momentum following the mutiny from the parent Black Lives Matter organization after the father of Michael Brown lent his support of questioning the motives of the Black Lives Matter Foundation. BLM 10 Plus is the original 10 signatories and the other chapters and organizers that remain steadfast in our open calls for accountability from the BLM Global Network Foundation and Patrisse Cullors. In November 2020, the BLM chapters issued a public demand for the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation to provide financial transparency. The BLM Global Network Foundation took in over $90 million in 2020, according to the Associated Press. I don't believe that number, right? I think they took in more than that. I think that's just a number that they're telling people, because with all that money that was reportedly being sent to causes related to Black Lives Matter, you would think that the most popular organization in that movement would have got more money than just $90 million. I mean, apparently there was billions, right? Billions of dollars spent on BLM related movements. Quote, to the best of our knowledge, most chapters have received little to no financial support from the Black Lives Matter Global Network since the launch in 2013. BLM 10 Plus said it was only in the last few months that selected chapters appeared to have been invited to apply for a $500,000 grant created with resources generated because of an organizing labor of chapters. This is not equity and financial accountability we deserve. And they're 100% right about this. 100% right about this, because what do you mean that we have to apply for a $500,000 grant when you took in over $90 million? The chapters are supposed to be arms of the movement that are actually doing the work in the communities. Now, guys, I don't necessarily agree with what these chapters are doing. I think that them focusing on a lot of things that don't have to do with financial literacy or business or economic opportunity, I think those things are wrong, right? I don't think that they're actually doing things that are going to benefit. But at the same time, I still want them to have that money, okay? Because they are the ones that are doing the work, okay? Whether or not I agree with the work, it doesn't matter. They are the ones doing the work, and that they do deserve to get access to that money because they help raise that money. These are the people in the streets. Again, what they actually do with the money, that's besides the point. And see, and that's the thing. People got to understand, when I'm talking about stuff like this, I have a very nuanced perspective, and it's hard to really explain to people nuance, okay? I don't have to agree with the movement in order to demand that the movement do the things that they say they're going to do, okay? That, you know what I'm saying? Those are two different things, right? And I think these chapters deserve to get these resources, okay? Even though I don't necessarily agree with what these chapters are doing. And I also don't agree with the philosophy of the organization as a whole. But I would rather these chapters get the money than for these individuals who are at the top of the organization to hoard all the money and to use it for traveling expenses and to boost their own careers and their own lives, rather than give it to the people that, again, are actually doing the work. A report was released last June claiming that only 6% of the Black Lives Matter global network spending went to local chapters and grassroots organizations, when millions went towards travel and staff compensation. Again, my issue, how is it that, again, the chapters are the ones in the local community? Again, this is supposed to be a bottom-up organization. How is it that only 6% of spending went to the chapters? That to me is a huge red flag, okay? And whether or not Patrisse Cullors is at the head of the organization or not, we still have to demand accountability, right? We still have to demand that these chapters be treated right and fairly, right? I think that's important. Following the release of the damning statement against the Black Lives Matter Foundation, chapter names were promptly removed from the BLM website, according to BLM 10+. Again, anytime any of these chapters complain, right, about this, the organization just removed them, okay? They tried to say that, oh, they're not associated with us. The revolt by BLM chapters against the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation is now in full swing. BLM 10+ released a new statement this week. BLM 10 plus claimed that nepotism, proximity to power, and access to resources became more important to the network than making sure they had a radical vision, objectives, and strategies created through a transparent, democratic decision-making process and a solid foundation of shared grievance and political alignment. Quote, the salaries such as those of Patrisse Cullors, other founders, and staff have never been reported to chapters, the press release, which is titled Tell No Lies, said. Again, it's a lack of transparency. I'm on the right. I'm not the only person complaining about this. The people internally are complaining about this. If anything, I'm standing up for those on the inside who feel like they're being screwed over. Okay? So again, it's about transparency and financial accountability. As we labor to build grassroots movements in our communities, our engagement with BLM GN was always problematic and unsupportive. BLM 10+ declared, we never knew who made decisions or how decision-making processes were determined. The group said BLM GN has come to reflect the problematic nonprofit industrial complex it criticized. The only reason BLM GN has been able to amass millions of dollars from grants and donations is because of the pain of the families who have lost loved ones to state violence and grassroots campaigns we as local chapters and organizers have waged across the country without their support. The news release said the reason control of those organizations was able to be hoarded from families, chapters, and organizers is that those referred to as founders and those close to them allowed themselves to be elevated by corporate media and other tools of the system that perpetuate ongoing violence against our communities. Ding, 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 ding. Patrisse Cullors talked a big game about taking down so-called white supremacy, right? But she runs to this same institution of white supremacy to prop herself up and to enrich herself, while leaving those who are actually doing work on the ground empty-handed. But yet she talk about she's fighting white supremacy. And it's funny because, you know, people try to say black conservatives are, oh yeah, we're just peddling a white supremacy narrative, when I'm like, wait, hold on now. I am asking for financial transparency from an organization that says they're trying to help black people. I've also openly supported organizations that I felt like are actual real grassroots organizations that are going to help black people, like King Randall's school to teach men how to be men. Okay, I've done multiple videos about him. I've talked about that. So how is it that I'm promoting a white supremacist narrative here? If anything, again, I'm just trying to hold an organization that says they're trying to help black people accountable. That's it. So again, I don't understand. Do you not want these organizations to be held accountable? Do you want people like Patrisse Cullors and the founders of this movement to get rich off the back of dead black men and have nothing to show for it? Because that's not what I want. What I want is the money to go to people who are actually really doing the work, right? And that's why I highlight people who are actually doing the work. I highlight people that I feel like are saying the right things and doing the right things. So again, this criticism of black conservatives, I think is really ridiculous. I don't have to support everything that's black. I support things that I feel like are actually really legit, right? There's a difference. It's called nuance. BLM 10 Plus claims to have the support of several parents and sons who were killed by the police. Parents calling for BLM global network accountability, including Samaria Rice, mother Tamir Rice, 12-year-old boy who had a toy gun and was fatally shot by Cleveland police in 2014. Lisa Simpson, the mother of Rashard Richard, who was shot and killed in 2016 by police in Los Angeles, and Michael Brown Sr., the father of Michael Brown, who was fatally shot in 2014 by police in Ferguson. Families of those who were lost to police violence spoke out and demanded accountability, BLM 10 Plus stated. Last month, grief-stricken mothers blasted the BLM Global Network Foundation for benefiting off the bloods of their sons who died from police shootings. The mothers questioned the intentions of BLM co-founder Patrisse Cullors, who they say is going to take the money and run. Cullors, who is a self-proclaimed trained Marxist, went on a real estate spending spree, which brought major suspicions on the finances of the Black Lives Matter organization. Cullors stepped down from her position last month. Okay, so again, you have people, the families of those who have tragically died, okay, that are demanding accountability. And I am simply standing up for those people as well as the chapters. So again, when people try to come at black conservatives for talking about BLM and talking about black people, again, I'm wondering, what is your actual intentions? Because my intentions is simply to help. My intentions is simply to bring awareness to an issue so that money is not wasted, and so that people who actually do care, who I think probably are misguided to a certain extent, talking about the BLM chapters, I think they're misguided, but they do care, right? And because they care, I think they deserve to get the money, right? Even though I don't necessarily agree with what they're spending it on, the money was donated and they should get it. And this is why I do those videos. It's not about Patrisse Cullors, right? It's not about going after her, right? I could care less about her outside of the fact that she's not doing the things that she promised that she was going to do for these chapters, right? And people like that should be called out because it's wrong, okay? And you're not helping people. And I want people to actually get help. That's why I bring attention to these issues, right? So, you know, it seems like moving forward here that even though Patrisse Cullors has left leadership, they are still demanding accountability from her. They're still demanding that, you know, hey, where was the money spent? And again, it's a shame that these chapters, that the way that this organization has tried to remedy this problem is that they say, well, the chapters should have to apply for a $500,000 grant. Like, no, that's not how this is supposed to work. Why should they have to apply for money that they should just be getting? Now, I'm not saying there should be some stipulations. It'd be nice if they put stipulation on the money to be used for things that are actually going to help. But it seems to me that the issue is not necessarily how they're going to use the money. The issue is them getting the money, period. Because the money is being hoarded at the top. It's being hoarded by founders and those that are running the organization that are getting rich and are propelling their own careers, right? Using it for travel expenses, for staff, for things that are not making a real difference. And this is what's happening. And just because Patrisse Cullors is out doesn't mean that this organization is just going to get off and that they're not going to be held accountable, because they should. If they start giving these chapters money, then, hey, you know what? I'll leave BLM alone, right? At least when it comes to the financial part of it, I'll leave them alone. But until these chapters get the money, until this money at least goes into the communities that they say is trying to help, then I have to keep highlighting this stuff because I actually want the money to go there. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.